iron in the soul. What's up, YouTube? This is your big brother King Jabez, back today with another very important message. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think about my content. Also, in addition to that, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram at the King Jabez, as well as my website, theironsoul.com. Whatever you do, it will be greatly appreciated. Let's do some work. Today's video is entitled "Chosen Ones Must Leave or Separate from Toxic Parents." This is a very personal message that is so necessary, and it's one I have to be honest with you as your big brother, one I kind of been dodging because I know how personal it could be. But I had a very strong dream last night, and I felt compelled, I would dare say led, to talk about this today. And I feel like I have to, otherwise I feel like I would be in, disobedience to the Most High. And so I feel like this is something He wants me to talk about, and just the reality of that transition from the experience with our parents to our real adult life. And disclaimer, this is not me here speaking as a family counselor or therapist, nothing like that. This is simply your big brother on YouTube talking to you, giving you some wisdom I've gained from life experience, from reading hundreds of comments, creating content for the last close to 4 years on this platform, and really, I would say at this point, having a pretty good perspective of this current generation. And it's my role to speak to you guys. And I embrace this. I thank you guys for embracing me as your big brother, listening to me. And I have to talk about this today. And so I'm going to use a lot of information. I got several comments I'm going to read. Okay, this won't be my own thoughts. I want this to just be about me. I'm going to share a little bit of my own personal experience. I'm going to get a little personal too on this one today. So it'll be a little personal. So warning for that. Give you a fair warning. Be a little personal. I'm going to read about 6 comments. 3 from men and 3 from women. I did a video on TikTok that concerned mothers who jealous of their daughters, and a lot of women commented, and a lot of men are commenting about their experience with their fathers. So common sense tells your big brother that a lot of men and women right now feel some type of way to make it light concerning their relationship with their parents. And granted, many of you probably had a great relationship with your family, and this don't apply to you at all. And if it doesn't apply, then let it fly. I'm okay with that. And this is not an indictment against every mother or father, because that would be unwise for me to say that, not knowing any of you, of course. That's just common sense, but I got to put that out there. But for many of you, this will speak to you. And this is a sore spot and something that has to be addressed, or we can experience something referred to as arrested development. And that's a deep subject in itself. And understanding that there are spirits, entities, if that word bothers you, that target every age of your life. And these spirits targeted you during your development with the purpose of arresting or stopping your progress. And so now at 20, 25, 30 years of age, you find yourself trying to catch up, right? And it's nothing against you, but I'm just telling you that may be a part of what you're going through right now. And a lot of people feel that very way. So as you can see from this introduction, we're going to hit this from various angles. We're going to talk about personal experience, some of my experiences. I'm going to take you to the Hebrew scriptures. I'm going to really just try my best to add a solid conversation today to this particular topic. And I believe it would be of value to you. I had a very strong dream last night concerning this subject, and I knew that I was being led by God to speak on this Saturday. And the dream concerned the saga, or the conflict between David and King Saul. And I also had in this dream a portion of my own life and some of my father figures. And I knew that this was a lesson for all of us concerning that separation from a father, or sometimes a father figure, or for you ladies who hear this, your mother, that becomes toxic in your life based on jealousy and insecurity. So here's what I mean by that. Saul became very jealous of David. David was like a son to him. He treated him like a son. He was the son's age, the same age as his son Jonathan. They were best friends. And David really had a bright future. And sometimes a father will become jealous when he can see in his son what he can't see in himself. This can happen sometimes because the father has a problem with the mother, and he'll take it out on the son, right? And he'll take it out on the daughter. This happens too. So oftentimes those relationships between the mama and daddy, it spills over into the kids. And so this is where you'll see some of the verbal abuse. And that's such a bad thing that happens to people that messes up your psychology. And it really is a form of word spells. Word spells are very powerful. Word spells are not just music and movies. Word spells often come from the gatekeepers who are mom and dad. So David got to a place where he was growing, right? He became the hometown hero. He had to leave his hometown because of the jealousy, because of his brothers who didn't like him. His brothers did not like him, okay? His father had a problem with him. Listen to me, ladies, guys. Sometimes your own people will have a problem with you because the call on your life is so big. None of them was called to be the next king, but David was. And so he had to leave. The women were singing their songs. David has slain his thousands. 10,000, Saul his thousands. And this created this murderous type of jealousy in the heart of his father figure. So for some of you, your father may be jealous. It could be bitterness because he hasn't achieved his own goals. He has dreams. He had plans. Every young man has plans and dreams. And if he did not accomplish that, and he sees you coming up and going in that right direction, the right thing to do is to support that. To embrace, man, son, I'm proud of you. I want to see you go as far as you can. I want to see you become better than me, to be honest. That's what a real man would do. But a toxic dad, a toxic father figure will become jealous, verbally abusive, and this came to a place in my life where I had to separate from my father figures. And this is what the dream was about. I was around them because they gave me opportunities. That's normally what the older men do. They give the younger man an opportunity, right? They open doors for you, give you some bread through a job, position, connection, whatever it may be. That's kind of how the game works. And you appreciate that. But what happens is sometimes as the young man begins to grow, the older becomes jealous, starts to try to minimize your accomplishment, starts targeting you. And this is when you become targeted. This is why you have to lead a 9-to-5 culture in many cases, because your aura, your glow, you're beginning to shine and to blossom and develop at a higher rate than they expected. And so now they become threatened for their position. They start thinking, okay, you can do what I'm doing. And that's exactly what Saul said to David. What else can he have now besides the kingdom? So when you begin to grow and they see your influence, rather than support that, they allow jealousy, hatred, and malice and strife to really kill your relationship. And when that happens, you have no choice but to run for your life, which is exactly what David did. And David, like a chosen one, ended up in the wilderness, isolated, away from his hometown, away from his brothers, away from his daddy, right? He had to do that because in that isolated place, he began to really grow and become the king that he was chosen to be. So oftentimes, chosen ones will have to leave people who are very close to you. Are you hearing this? In order to become who you are called to be. So to really make this real and personal, we're going to now switch gears to several comments I've received, both on Instagram as well as TikTok, here on YouTube, from men and women alike concerning their experiences with their parents. And we're going to really dive a little deep there. We're in the deep end of the pool today. We're in the 10-foot deep end. Under the water, trying to swim. We're going deep today. And, women go through this. I did a video on TikTok about mothers who are jealous of their daughters, and hundreds of comments came in from women, no exaggeration, all over the earth, of mamas being verbally abusive, hating on them because of their looks, using them at times for their looks, humiliating them and embarrassing them publicly on social media, the verbal abuse, the subtle shade and jealousy and hatred. Because, sometimes, a woman grows up, begins to develop, look better than mama, get more attention than mama, and sometimes mama feels type of way about that. So that's happening, and people don't speak on this. But there are women out here who are jealous of their own daughters. So let me kind of switch gears and talk about what these women have said themselves and give my 2 cents on this. So let's go ahead and tap into this. One woman says, "My parents are very mean to me. My mother specifically is jealous and envious of me, has told me she does." So this woman says that her mother, was flat out jealous, envious, and told her that. And this can happen. For some reason, what's coming to my mind right now is Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey went through this with her mother. Of course, we all know who Mariah Carey is. We don't know her mother, but we know who Mariah Carey is. And her mother will tell her things like, "You'll never become the singer I am. You'll never become the artist I am." And of course, that was not true, because we know Mariah Carey. We don't know mama. Sorry. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And so sometimes you have a parent who had a dream, who had a vision, who had a goal, and they were not able to achieve it like you were. And what they don't understand is that sometimes part of their purpose in life is to help you become who you're supposed to be. Don't be jealous about that. So embrace that. If you have a gifted daughter, I'm talking to you now, you all who got young kids, 1-year-old, 4-year-old, 5 years old. Some of you got kids 10, 15 years old. If you have a gifted child, son or daughter, don't get jealous of that. That's an asset. Foster that. Embrace that. Nurture that. Don't become a hater. So this woman's own mother was jealous, envious, maybe because of her looks, maybe because of her status. Because mama got eyes. She go out into public. She see how people look. My daughter come out, hair's turning. Guys breaking their neck. You know what I mean? And mama used to get that attention. Mama not getting that attention anymore. Right? And she may not know how to deal with that. So yes, there are mothers who are jealous of their own daughters. Let's read the second comment. My mom and her sister, well, this is Auntie, this TT. You hating TTs. I'm going to talk to y'all for a minute too. My mom and her sister cursed me because they didn't want me to succeed. Ouch. In my songwriting and music career. They want me below them. How can I break free? Man, so somebody asks you a question like that. These type of questions people be asking me. And that's a tough one. How do you deal with your mama and auntie, these older women, you young, really are hating on your success, don't want to see you really thrive? That's a problem. How do you deal with that? And some of you, I bet you there's about 10 of you watching this video right now, you had a hating auntie. I'm sorry I get on your auntie. Mamas who saw how good you looked, who saw your shape, okay, to make this appropriate. They saw your shape, okay. We all got eyes. Beauty, whatever you want to call it, vibe, energy, you can put two and two together. And they didn't want you to succeed. In other words, they didn't want you to do better than them. And if you have a mother or auntie like that, I'm talking to you women now, who's like that, get away from them. It doesn't matter that they're related to you. Sometimes blood can be worse people who don't know you. In their word spells. Okay, word spells are real, by the way. Okay, word spells are not just from music and TV and movies. Here's an example of this from an abusive father. And this is a man who's now helping families. Just look at what his father said to him. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to read this word for word. And again, this is real life experience. And some of you may have experienced this. You're just like your mother. Useless. Ouch. I mean, what does that to say to a kid? Do I look like I have time to give a F about you? Time to deal with you. I'm not going to curse, but you can fill in the blanks. You are beneath me. Marriage will ruin you just like it ruined me. So you see this? You see this, guys, ladies, men? Projecting that dysfunction from his life onto his son. So because your marriage failed, you're going to make sure my marriage fails. Got you. You're beneath me. Well, how am I beneath you? You know what I'm saying? Listen to this. You get those S brains from your mother. So clearly, this father clearly had a problem with mama. Okay? And this happens a lot. When the father doesn't like the mother, or when the mother doesn't like the father. So you got these men who hate the woman, and they want to abuse the son because of that. And then you have these mothers who don't like the daddy, and every time they see the boy, they think about the daddy. So you got these grown men. Oh, I know y'all like this. I'm getting personal now. I know you're mad, man. I ain't scared of you. You got these grown men and women abusing babies because of your problem with another grown man or woman. Things that make you say, And you know, guys, as simple as that sounds, I'm going to get a sip of Celsius now with that one. Great, by the way. Got great flavor today. This is one of the best ones. Purple Rain like Prince. Hey, man, I got like nice. This one, I'm uncomfortable even saying all this. Man, you know, you got this going on in a lot of families. And unfortunately, this is not really uncommon. I'm sure some of y'all go comment and say, man, big bro, this is my life. This is exactly what I went through. So again, when this woman says that her mother and auntie cursed her and didn't want to see her succeed, you have people out here like that who will take out their own bitterness, miserable lives out on the very people that they were given a responsibility from the Most High himself to guide through life. And this happens to a lot of people. Let's keep reading. I'm not going to make this by myself. Let's read these comments from these real women. This is the third woman now. We've read 3 women's experiences. There were a total of 121 comments on that video. Long comments. I can't read all of them. I'm going to read 3 of them just to give this some teeth. Here's the third one. She forced me to go find a rich old man. This happens too. Don't forget on your mama's heels now. You mamas who use your daughters. You bogus. She forced me to go find a rich old man to spoon feed her. It's so gross. These evil, lazy, I can't say the word. I'm just saying, Lil Reese. You know, man, you got women out here like that who will use their daughters' body to get money for them. Oh, that's happening. Oh, you better believe that's happening. Some of you getting mad now because yeah, you know, Big Bro know about that too. Hey, Big Bro ain't no dummy. I don't come and say Big Bro for no reason. I've been around. I kind of, it's real out here. In the scriptures, by the way, we can talk about the Old Testament scriptures for a second. The Hebrew scriptures teach us that you should not do this. Here's what the Word of God says. You should not prostitute your daughters. I'm paraphrasing. Because when you do this, you pollute the land. And some of you mothers, some of you daddies, you are polluting this land by how you're using your own daughter. I know you don't like that. I ain't scared of you. You can't whoop me. I'll say it again. You messing the land up. How you're treating your own daughter. How can you be okay with yourself as a man, as a woman, objectifying your own daughter? I got 2 daughters. That should bother you. That don't bother you? You don't think that's wrong? What's wrong with you? And this is the type of stuff that people are going through that people don't want to talk about. But these are real people and real life experiences. And I got into a bad argument with them yesterday. It got thrown out. While I was packing, I felt at peace. My soul knew I was making the right decision. And that comment had close to 1,000 likes on it. This is one of my videos. And, you know, a lot of comments too, people were saying, man, I've been through this. So that tells me a lot of you have experienced that firsthand. When there was just such a conflict with your parents that you had to move on. And I went through that. I went through that actually at 19 years of age when it was like clear this is just not working anymore. And, you know, it could be difficult at first, but as I think back now in hindsight, it really made me who I am today, because that break in family relationship, it made me dive deeper into who am I. And so I began to read a lot. I began to pray a lot. I began to fast. I went on a celibacy journey. You know, this is what that family abuse did in my life. It made me really borderline become like a modern day Malcolm X. I'm talking clean shave, glasses on, reading every day, fasting. It made me go into self and let me figure out who am I, because I'm not liking this whole vibe. Let me figure out who I am. And I went on this journey, went to school, started playing college basketball. So sometimes this dysfunction can be necessary to get you to shift and to create a new path for yourself and one day your own future family. So let's read the second comment. He says, you're absolutely right. I had the same experience over and over again. God wanted me to leave, and I was talking to me. And so this was someone who had the same experience of just, it was time to move on. And transitions are difficult. Let me say that. It is difficult to transition from family and friends. It's difficult to transition to another city. But let me say this right now. Let me speak this word. Transitions are necessary. Somebody say that with me. Transitions are necessary. Sometimes you may need to leave your hometown. You may need to leave a job, leave a family relationship behind, leave a relationship. You may need to leave that man, leave that woman. I don't know who I'm talking to, but some of you, it's time for a shift. Let me pause, take another sip of this Celsius. It's time for a transition. And that's what we're talking about in this video. All of this abuse, neglect, hateful words, it should lead you, if you're wise, to transition and to do something else, right? And some of you say, okay, big bro, you talk to me, it's time for me to make a move. And I know from experience, it's scary, right? Let me talk to you now what I know. It's difficult. So you see, we get comfortable with the familiar, even when it's abusive. This is why sometimes women will stay in an abusive relationship, because they're used to that, and they are afraid in some cases, or don't know how to move on to something that is fresh, new, and healthy. And so as people, we can get used to being treated a certain way. And you have healed as a man, as a woman, when you just simply refuse certain treatment. When you get to a place where you're not going to treat me like this anymore, I don't care who you are, you're growing now. Okay? I don't care if your mama, I don't care if your daddy, I don't care if your title was boss, I don't care if your title was whatever. You're not going to treat me like I'm just a nobody. And I'm going to stand up for myself. And sometimes the best way, let me give you this as your big brother, the best way to stand up for yourself sometimes is to leave. We ain't got to argue. I ain't got to curse you out. I ain't going to do that. Ain't in my character. I'm not going to curse you out. I'm not going to curse you out. I'm not going to create a scene. I ain't going to do none of that. It's not who I am. It's not my character. Not going to make me a bad person. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to quietly make a move. I'm going to show you with my absence that this ain't that. In the words of Lil Durk, this ain't what you want. This is not that. You know what I mean? I am not going to be your doormat. Let me talk to you now. You are not going to treat me like I'm just slow. Because people try to treat you like you're slow. I'm not slow. I can tell you don't like me. You don't respect me. People want to sometimes act like you don't get it. Like I don't, like I'm dumb or something. Like I'm stupid. I don't get that you don't like me. I feel those vibes. I know you don't like me. You think I can feel that energy. Energy can be felt. I know you don't like me. I know you got a problem with me. And people say they love you. Oh, I love you. No, you can say you're saying love, but your actions are showing hate. I'm not going off what you're saying. I'm going off what you're doing. You dig? You can tell me a lot of things. I don't care about what you're saying. Your actions says you hate me. And that's what I'm going to draw off of. That's the decision I'm going to make. So if your actions, your vibe, the energy is off every time around you, and that's how it is even with family and friends sometimes. Whenever you're around them and the energy is always thick and off, that's a reason for that. That's your spirit telling you something's not right. If you are around family members and so-called friends and you feel nothing but bad vibes, something is not right. Right? Okay. Third comment. This one's a little longer. To anyone who has grown up with a narcissistic parent, I am sending healing to all of us. It's done so much damage, to my psyche as an adult. You hit every nail on the head, and it's scary to know that this person truly hates me. And that really was a painful comment to read. When you get to a place where you say, you know what, man, my parents actually hated me. That's not good. And sometimes that happens, guys, ladies, men. You got sometimes parents who don't like you because they didn't like your daddy. They didn't like your mama. Huh? If you are a boy, or a boy, you're a man now. I'm a man, Buddha. I'm a man. You were a boy. And you look like your daddy. And mama didn't like daddy. She might not like you because of that. On a simple truth that you remind her of that she don't like no more. And same thing with these girls. Your daddy didn't like your mama. And so now he got a problem with you. And this happens more than people want to talk about. That's why people got to stop having, with people just to have it and have kids. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you hear this. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, night, whatever. People need to stop hopping in bed with folks that you don't love. Woo! I know you don't like that. Baby, you're in my business. Yeah, I'm all in your business now. I'm gonna say it again. I ain't scared of you. I'm gonna say it again. Stop having with people you don't love, because you end up having a son or daughter who's gonna experience that same rejection. And then they end up being 20, 25, 30 years old, still feeling, I know I'm talking now, rejected, abused, and might wrestle with that vagabond spirit. That's a whole nother conversation there. The spirit of the vagabond. We can start talking about arrested development. All of that comes from this. We had two people in bed going crazy and don't like each other. And then they bring a child into the world, a boy or girl, and they end up growing up abused, neglected, not wanted, disliked. All these comments we're reading, that's where they come from. Huh? That don't come out of nowhere. That's where that comes from. It normally comes from a young man and a young woman who sometimes really don't like each other, just doing what young people do. You dig? And a child is born, and they got to now grow up and deal with that. And you know I'm telling the truth. This is real. And no matter how handsome you are, my boy, no matter how good you look, sis, you got to deal with this. And if you don't deal with this, now your boyfriend got to deal with this. Now your girlfriend got to deal with this. You say, man, big bro, you on my bumper today. I'm on your bumper today. I know I'm on your heels. I'm on your heels today. I'm on your bumper. If you don't deal with this, madam, sir, bro, sis, my boy, my girl, if you don't deal with this is going to become the problem of your boyfriend or your husband, your girlfriend or your wife, your baby daddy, your BM, baby mama. They got to now deal with all of that toxicity. How do you think we have toxic relationships in the first place? How do we get toxic people? They were around toxicity that they never dealt with. And it goes right from mama, right to the son and daughter, right to the relationship. And now you got little mama acting like big mama. You got your son acting like daddy. Happens all the time. This is the circle of life. So I'm not talking about, you say, who am I talking about in particular? This is not about no one particular person. This is the world right now. If you didn't get that, that's what's happening. That's what's happening out. This is what's going on out here. This is the earth. This is what's happening all over the earth. And this crosses race. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white, Hispanic, Asian. And I don't care who y'all watch. Listen to this one. This is all over the world. This is a worldwide message. You dig? So, and now that I've said all this, okay, what do we do? Well, that's another conversation for another day. I can't address everything in one video. That's a lot of things. You know that. Counseling, therapy, exercise, diet, prayer, God, reading literature, renewing your mind, taking care of yourself. So you know the answers. There's a lot of things you got to do. You can't put that on big bro iron. It's a list of things you can do. You know that. Yeah, start working. And going forward to be the best person that you can be. I'm glad you listened to this video. Thanks for tapping in. Please leave a comment. This is your big brother Iron Soul. God bless. You know what it is. Peace.